Hello students, welcome to e-learning platform of Cambridge International School, the SUA for grade 11 commerce for the subject of accountancy. Hello students, this is Kamaljeet Sharma, your accountancy teacher. This session is related with the subject of accountancy for grade 11th commerce. Dear students, let's recap. As you know, we have studied about all the concepts related with chapter number 5, accounting equation. In the previous session, we get to know about the effect of any transaction over the accounting equation. We learned about the effects of receipts, payments, incomes, expenses on accounting equation. Today we will solve few questions related to this topic. So today's topic is again chapter number 5, that is accounting equation. So let's recap the treatment of incomes and expenses. First of all, we will discuss about the incomes. Students, if there is income earned and received, the effect on this transaction on the accounting equation would be increase in cash and increase in the capital. The second one is income earned but not received. The effect of this transaction over the accounting equation is increase in assets and increase in capital. The third one is income received but not earned. In this case, the effect would be increase in cash, that is increase in asset, and increase in liabilities also, because income received but not earned is a liability. It is the income received in advance for the work to be done in the future. So again, I'll discuss income earned and received, increase in cash and increase in capital. Income earned but not received, increase in asset, increase in capital. Income received but not earned, that is increase in cash and increase in liabilities. Now come to expenses. Expenses if paid. The effect on the accounting equation would be decrease in cash because expenses are paid in cash. It will also reduce the capital, decrease the capital. The second one is expenses outstanding. Expenses when due but not paid become outstanding expenses. Since expenses are incurred, so it will increase our liabilities. But expenses also have effect on over the capital, so it will reduce the capital. So effect would be increase in liabilities and decrease in capital. Next is expenses prepaid. Expenses when paid in advance are called expenses prepaid. Since cash is paid, so it will reduce the cash. But the benefit to be flow in the near future, it is treated as an asset also. So the effect would be decrease in cash and increase in asset. So I'm again summing up the treatment of expenses. Expenses if paid decrease in cash and decrease in capital. Expenses when outstanding increase in liability, decrease in capital. Expenses when paid in advance, that is prepaid, decrease in cash and increase in assets. Then there are some special expenses which we have discussed in the previous slide. Number one is interest on capital. Since interest on capital is not paid to the proprietor, so it will have no effect on the accounting equation. Interest on drawing is also an income for the business, but we are not receiving the interest on drawings from the owner, from the proprietor, so it will also have no effect over the capital. Depreciation. Depreciation is the reduction in the value of assets due to normal wear and tear and expected obsolescence, means outdated in technology. So depreciation will have effect decrease in asset and decrease in capital. I repeat once again, the treatment of special expenses. If there is interest on capital, no effect on capital. Then interest on drawing, no effect on capital. Then depreciation, decrease in assets and decrease in capital. Let us start our first example. According to this example, we have to prepare an accounting equation with the help of the following transactions. First is Ram started business with cash. It means cash comes into the business and this cash is brought in by the proprietor into the business. The effect of this transaction would be increase in cash with rupees 1 lakh as well as increase in capital of rupees 1 lakh. Then he purchased goods worth rupees cash of rupees 30,000. It means the goods were purchased on cash basis. It will affect the cash with a deduction of rupees 30,000. The cash of the business will reduce by 30,000 as well as at the same time the stock of the business will increase by rupees 30,000. So net effect of this transaction would be decrease in cash with rupees 30,000 and increase in stock of rupees 30,000. The next transaction is he purchased goods on credit rupees 40,000 from Mohan. Credit purchase means goods were not purchased on cash. No cash payment is made for the purchase of these goods. So credit purchases affects business like there is an increase in a stock of rupees increase in the stock of rupees 40,000, whereas on this at the same time it will increase the liabilities of the business in the form of creditors. So the net effect would be increase in stock 40,000 and increase in creditors rupees 40,000. The next transaction is he sold goods costing rupees 12,000 for cash at rupees 14,000. The cost of the goods are 12,000 whereas sale price is 14,000 and sales are made on cash basis. There is a profit of rupees 2,000. So the effect will be there is a reduction of stock by rupees 12,000 and increase in cash with rupees 14,000. The difference of rupees 2,000 which is profit ultimately goes to the proprietor. So proprietor's account is capital account. So 2,000 will be added to capital. So net effect is reduction in stock 12,000, addition in cash rupees 14,000 and addition in capital rupees 2,000. Next is he sold goods costing rupees 6,000 on credit. It means these are credit sales to Sohan for rupees 8,000. The stock will reduce by 6,000. Debtors will increase by 8,000 and there is also a profit of rupees 2,000 will be added to the capital. So net effect is reduction in cost 6,000, increase in debtors 8,000 and increase in capital that is 2,000. Next is he paid rent rupees 5,000 and salaries rupees 6,000. Both rent and salaries are expenses. After the payment of these expenses, the cash balance will reduce. So as well as at the same time it will also affect on capital. So 11,000 will be total amount of 11,000. 5,000 plus 6,000 will be deducted from cash as well as from the capital. So net effect is cash reduction 11,000 and deduction in the capital same 11,000. Now we will solve the question. Now this is the solution of the previous question. So first transaction is started business with cash which leads to increase in cash of rupees 1 lakh and increase in capital of rupees 1 lakh. Second transaction is related with cash purchases. With the cash purchases, the cash will reduce by 30,000 because cash goes out of the business and stock comes into the business. So it will increase the stock with rupees 30,000. So cash purchases affects decrease in cash of 30,000 and increase in stock of 30,000. There is no other effect on any item. The new equation would be cash balance 70,000, stock 30,000, which equals to capital of rupees 1 lakh, and the accounting equation balances. Next is credit purchases. Credit purchases means goods were purchased on creditors from creditors. No payment is to be made in cash. So there is no effect on cash, but goods comes into the business, it will increase in stock. and increase in creditors. So the new equation would be cash 70,000 as it is, and after increase in stock the new stock would be 70,000 equals to creditors of rupees 40,000 and capital rupees 1 lakh. So the total of both the side is 1,40,000. Next transaction is cash sales. Cost goods costing rupees 12,000 sold for rupees 14,000. So cash comes into the business 14,000 and stock goes out of the business 12,000. 12,000 stock worth rupees 12,000 sold for 14,000 means there is a profit of rupees 2,000. So total cash comes into the business is 14,000, increase in cash is 14,000, whereas decrease in stock is 12,000. And the increase in the profit of the business ultimately added to the capital account because profit belongs to the owner. So it will add it to the capital account. So the new equation would be cash 84,000, stock 58,000, creditors as it is 40,000, and the capital would be 1,02,000. Now the next is credit sales. Goods costing rupees 6,000 sold for rupees 8,000 on credit basis. So there it will have effect that stock will reduce by 6,000 and debtors will increase by rupees 8,000. There is a profit of rupees 2,000 which will be added in capital account. So the net effect is decrease in stock 6,000, increase in debtor 8,000, and increase in capital of rupees 2,000. The new equation would be cash 84,000, stock 52,000, debtors rupees 8,000, creditors 40,000, and capital rupees 1,04,000. The total of both the side would be 1,44,000. Then next is rent and salaries paid. Rent and salaries both are expenses. Total 5,000 plus 6,000 comes to 11,000. The 11,000 rupees goes out of the business. It will leads to reduction in cash. So cash will be reduced by rupees 11,000 and the expenses are always deducted from capital. So there is a reduction in the capital of rupees 11,000. So the equation would be cash 73,000, stock as it is 52,000, debtors as it is 8,000, liabilities as it is 40,000, but the capital will be 93,000. We will start the example 2. Same here we have to prepare an accounting equation. Sham started business with cash rupees 2 lakh. It will leads to increase in cash of rupees 2 lakh and increase in capital of rupees 2 lakh. He purchased goods for cash, leads to decrease in cash of rupees 20,000 and increase in stock of rupees 20,000. Now this is the new, third one is the new transaction, that is deposited cash into the bank. When we deposit the cash into the bank, the effect would be there is a reduction in cash with rupees 15,000 and increase in the bank balance with rupees 15,000. Next is he sold goods costing rupees 12,000 for cash at 14,000. Goods costing rupees 12,000 will be selling by for rupees 14,000. There is a profit of rupees 2,000. Next, rent paid rupees 5,000 and interest received rupees 2,000. Rent paid is an expense. It will leads to reduction in cash of 5,000 and it will be deducted from the capital. All the expenses will be deducted from capital. He received interest. Interest on bank deposit is an income. So income would be added in the capital as well as in the cash column of the accounting equation. The solution of this question: first transaction started business with cash. It will increase the cash with rupees 2 lakh and capital rupees 2 lakh. Cash purchases will leads to decrease in cash of 20,000 and increase in stock rupees 20,000. No effect on any other item. The new equation would be cash rupees 1,80,000, stock 20,000, bank no effect, creditors no effect, and the capital rupees 2 lakh. Both side equals at rupees 2 lakh. Then we have to deposit the bank in cash into the bank. 15,000 is deposited in the bank. It will leads to decrease in cash. Cash will be decreased. 15,000 will be deducted from cash and added in the bank column of the accounting equation. The bank balance would be increased by 15,000. No effect on any other item. The new equation would be cash balance 1,65,000, stock as it is 20,000, in the balance bank balance would be 15,000, creditors 0, and the capital is 2 lakh. Both side equals to 2 lakh. Next is cash sale. Goods costing rupees 12,000 sold for 14,000. So 2,000 will be 12,000 will be deducted from stock. 14,000 will be added in cash, and the profit of rupees 2,000 ultimately added in the capital. The new equation would be cash 1,79,000, stock rupees 8,000, bank balance 15,000, and the capital will be 2,02,000. Rent paid. Rent is an expense deducted from cash and capital, 5,000 each. The new equation would be 1,74,000, cash, stock 8,000, bank as it is 15,000, creditors no effect, and the capital would become 1,97,000. Then interest received is an income. Income will be added in cash as well as in the capital if received. So interest here received, 2,000 will be added in cash and added in the capital. New equation would be cash 1,76,000, stock 8,000, bank 15,000, and the capital 1,99,000. Both side equals at rupees 1,99,000. In the example third, we have to prepare the same accounting equation, but there are some different transactions. Number one is Mohan started business with cash, rupees 9,000. It is the same. It leads to increase in cash and increase in capital of rupees 9,000. But the rent outstanding, it means rent is due but not paid. So all the expenses, whether they are paid or not, deducted from capital. But if they are paid, deducted from cash, and if they are not paid, it will become our liability. So added in the liabilities column with the name of the particular expense. That is, here it is rent outstanding. So we will prepare a new column in the liability side, that is rent outstanding. So next is insurance prepaid. Insurance prepaid, that is paid in advance. Expenses paid or prepaid, both will be deducted from cash. But in case if it is paid, deducted from capital. But if it is not paid, it is prepaid. So it will consider as an asset because the benefit will flow in near future. Next is accrued interest. Accrued interest is interest earned but not received. Accrued interest is an income earned but not received. It will be added to capital, but since the income is not received, there is a new column of accrued interest on the asset side. The next one is unearned income, that is income received in advance. So income we have received in advance, so it will be added in cash, but since the work is to be done in near future, it will consider as a liability. So there will be a new column of liability in the liability side under the name of advance commission of rupees 5,000. Solution of the above question. First transaction is same as it is 9,000, started business with cash rupees 9,000, cash added with 9,000 and capital 9,000. Rent outstanding, since rent is due but not paid, so rent whether paid or not paid, deducted from capital rupees 3,000. If it is paid, it should be deducted from cash, but here it is not paid, it is due but not paid. So there is a new column on the liability side under the name of rent outstanding rupees 3,000. The new equation would be cash 9,000 equals to rent outstanding 3,000 and capital 6,000. Both side equals at rupees 9,000. Then insurance prepaid. I told you that whether the expenses paid, whether they are paid or prepaid, both should be deducted from cash. So here insurance prepaid, that is paid in advance, it must be deducted from cash. But since the benefit to be flow in near future, so it is considered as an asset. So there is a new column of prepaid insurance on the asset side, 2,000 rupees added. No effect on any other item. The new equation would be cash rupees 7,000, prepaid insurance 2,000, rent outstanding as it is 3,000 and capital 6,000. The total equals to rupees 9,000. Next is accrued interest. Accrued interest is the income earned but not received. So income earned, it would be added in the capital. So 4,000 added in the capital, but it is to be received in future, benefit to be received in future, it is considered as an asset. So there is a new column of accrued interest on the asset side of rupees 4,000. The new equation would be cash 7,000, prepaid insurance 2,000, accrued interest 4,000. Then on the liability side, rent outstanding 3,000 and capital 10,000. Both side equals to 13,000. Next is unearned commission, that is commission not earned but received, that is received in advance. So it is received in advance, cash is received in advance, added in cash, but work to be done in near future, so it will become a liability. So there is a new column on the liability side under the name of advance income 5,000. So the new equation would be cash 12,000, prepaid insurance 2,000, accrued interest 4,000, rent outstanding on the liability side 3,000, advance income, that is advance commission 5,000 and capital 10,000. Both side equals at rupees 18,000. Now student, this is the end of this session. In this session, we have done 3 example questions related to accounting equation. I hope these examples will help you to understand the concept of this topic more easily. It's homework time now. As we have done few examples of this topic, kindly revise all the concept and make yourself understand the utility of these concepts. Try to solve some illustrations as well as questions related to this topic from your textbook T.S. Garewal. And also try to solve few questions from NCERT, and these all questions to be solved in your homework notebook. Till then, stay home, stay safe, but study regularly.